Good morning, everyone, and you're very welcome to today's webinar. We have already completed a sound check, so a big thanks to everyone who helped with that. First of all, I want to introduce ourselves. My name is Holly McHugh, and I'm a marketing executive here at BrightPay. I'm also joined by Elaine, who is the digital marketing executive here at BrightPay. First, I want to look at the agenda for today's webinar, and we've divided today's webinar into 3 different parts. In the first part of today's webinar, we are going to look at 6 tips for payroll success while making a profit. In the second part of today's webinar, we will look at how BrightPay Connect can help your practice and the ins and outs of how the software works. Finally, at the end of the webinar, we will have a questions and answers section where we will answer any questions that you may have. So if you do have any questions, you can type them into the questions box on your control panel at the side of the screen, and we will try to get through as many questions as possible. This webinar is being recorded, and all attendees will receive an email later today with a link to the recording, so it's no problem if you do need to leave at any stage. Also in the email later today, there will be a copy of the presentation slides that we are using today, or you can also download the slides right now if you wish on the Handouts tab on your control panel. We will also include some useful documents and additional resources that you may find helpful in the email later today. Now that all of the housekeeping is out of the way, I'm going to pass you over to Elaine to get started with today's webinar.
Thanks, Holly. Now, many of you would say that offering payroll as a service is not necessarily cost-effective, and it can be a time-consuming and tedious process. And before cloud technology, this has been somewhat true. From entering employee hours to sending payslips and payroll reports to clients, or even managing your client's annual leave, there is a lot of manual work involved. Payroll software can take you so far when it comes to finalizing the payroll and issuing payslips. But what about those other payroll-related tasks? Simple questions such as how much annual leave have I left, or can you resend my last 3 payslips, can become a daily and time-consuming burden. On top of that, there's trying to get employee hours and timesheets for payroll clients, and then the back and forth emails with the client to make sure that this information is correct. Managing and tracking this information can be much easier thanks to the power of cloud technology. By freeing up time, reducing costs, and increasing productivity, payroll professionals have more time to focus on business development, client service, and offering the higher value soft skills that make your bureau or practice stand out in the marketplace. So here on screen, you can see 6 tips for payroll success using cloud technology. So we have automatic backup of your payroll data to the cloud from anywhere, payroll reports accessible by the client, an easy-to-use annual leave management tool, integrations with accounting software, extra support for remote working, and client payroll entry and approval features. So each of these 6 tips are easily achievable when using the right software. For example, if you're using BrightPay's optional cloud add-on, BrightPay Connect, you'll have access to all of these features and more. So now we'll go through each of these features in more detail. And first up is an automatic cloud backup. So data security is becoming more and more important in today's world, especially when we store, process, and send confidential information, such as payslips, employee hours, and payroll reports. And did you know that if you only keep your client's payroll data on your desktop, you're at risk of losing the information? So it's important to ask yourself, how prepared am I for a disaster recovery situation? Have you thought about what would happen if your computer crashed or was hacked? Or if there was a fire or a flood, for example, and the hardware itself got destroyed? How would you get your client's payroll data back quickly? And most importantly, would employees get paid if the information was lost? Clients not only want, but need their data stored in a secure place. Especially in today's world, where hybrid working is becoming a growing permanent trend post-pandemic. You need to ensure that the method of backing up your payroll data is consistent and without any security concerns. So your payroll software provider should offer cloud integration, enabling you to automatically and securely back up the payroll data online, offering your clients an additional layer of data protection. Backing up and storing payroll data in the cloud offers the perfect solution to protect your clients' data, as well as improving the security and reputation of your practice. So just relating this back to BrightPay's optional cloud add-on, BrightPay Connect is using the latest web technologies and is hosted on Microsoft Azure for ultimate performance, reliability, and scalability, meaning that your client's payroll data is kept safe and secure. And another great benefit of having an automatic cloud backup is no more expensive servers. In-house servers take up physical space in your office and are more susceptible to data loss during disastrous situations due to their in-house location. Whereas with cloud backups, they can be restored from anywhere if the data is lost. And no effort is required to back up your data with BrightPay Connect, as it's done automatically for you every 15 minutes. And I can pass you back over to Holly now.
Thanks, Elaine. So generally, payroll bureaus email reports to their clients each pay period, which, aside from security issues, can be quite a laborious and time-consuming task. And time is money. I'll now talk you through how BrightPay Connect's report feature can benefit both you, the bureau, and your clients by eliminating those time-consuming tasks. BrightPay Connect's client online dashboard eliminates time-consuming tasks by empowering clients to help themselves. As you finalize the payroll on BrightPay, reports are automatically accessible by the client on BrightPay Connect. BrightPay's readily available reports include a daily pay report, a holiday pay report, a statutory pay report, and a pension report. As well as these commonly used reports, you can also set up your own custom-made reports using BrightPay's Report Builder. Once the report has been saved, the employer can access them through their BrightPay Connect dashboard at any time. This eliminates administrative work and time spent back and forth with your client, organizing the reports and sending them to clients when they need them. Next, I'll run through the importance of having an annual leave management tool. Both bureaus and clients can save so much time by streamlining this process. Annual leave is a part of the payroll process that many bureaus and accountants dread, as it can still be very much a manual, spreadsheet, or even paper-based task, which takes up a large amount of the bureau's time. Actually, a surprising bit of research I heard recently is that up to 15% of a payroll bureau's time can be spent managing their clients' annual leave, which is a massive amount of time when you think about it. That's almost a full day of the bureau's working week. Having an online annual leave system such as BrightPay Connect gives employees the ability to check their own annual leave balance and request leave from their online portal. So really, it's designating basic administrative work so that the employee can do it for themselves. For accountants, BrightPay Connect automates the communication between you and your client, as annual leave is automatically synced back to the payroll software on the bureau's PC. This can save time and reduce errors that occur when leave is not recorded correctly by the client. BrightPay Connect's annual leave feature streamlines annual leave requests, whilst giving employees visibility of annual leave taken and leave remaining for the year. Annual leave can be requested through BrightPay Connect's employee smartphone app or online portal, and your client can view a company-wide employee calendar, view each employee's annual leave calendar, and can authorize leave requests. Updates to the calendar will sync back to BrightPay, making it unnecessary for your client to communicate any changes to employee leave with the payroll processor. so you will always have up-to-date, accurate information. But that's not all. Employees can log into their self-service portal and view their payslip library with a full history of their payslips. They can view and download payslips and other payroll documents such as a P60 or P45, or even auto-enrollment letters. The fourth point I'll run through is the importance of integrating your payroll software with your accounting software and how it can save you so much time. Manually keying in or uploading payroll journals to the client's accounting system is a laborious way to keep their records up to date. By using a payroll software that can communicate directly with the accounting software, you can eliminate the need to export the CSV file from the payroll software and manually uploading it into the account software. Instead, you can reduce the time needed for record keeping and reduce the potential for costly mistakes. BrightPay includes direct API integration, which allows you to sync your payroll platform with Xero, QuickBooks, and a host of other leading cloud accounting platforms that you can see here on the screen. Just to note also that a generic journal option is also available for those who use other accounting software packages that are not shown here on screen. Generic payroll journals can be saved and added to your journal listing for future use. And I'm going to pass you back now to Elaine.
Thanks, Holly. So next is support for remote working. And I'll show you ways that accountants can ensure working remotely does not slow down their payroll performance. So the past couple of years have shown us the importance of remote access to ensure business continuity during a crisis. Post-pandemic, there has been a growing trend of businesses implementing long-term and permanent remote working and hybrid work environments. BrightPay Connect has been updated to include improved remote working functionality. So this includes a version checking feature when opening the employer file and an other users check to prevent the risk of conflicting copies. This is extremely useful when there are 2 or more processors processing payroll from multiple PCs. And here's how it works. So when you open an employer file, BrightPay Connect will check to see if there's a more up-to-date version of this file. For example, if someone else has worked on the employer file recently, or if you, from a different computer, have previously worked on this employer's file. And if a more up-to-date version is detected, you'll be given some options. You'll have the option to download and use the most recent version, or you can continue to use the version you're trying to open. It will also check to see if someone else is still working on the payroll file, and again, you'll be presented with some options. You can be notified when the other user has finished, and will also notify the other user that you're waiting to access the payroll. Or you can choose to continue anyway, and from that point, the other user won't be able to make any further changes to the payroll. This new working from home integration gives you all the benefits of the cloud while utilizing the power and responsiveness of your local device. And next is our client payroll entry and approval. Accurately recording your client's employee hours can be a very time-consuming task. Most accountants receive their client's payroll information in a spreadsheet. Sometimes this can be in the body of an email, by phone, or maybe even on a beer mat. The bureau then needs to re-enter this pay information into the payroll software, leaving a lot of room for mistakes and human error along the way. And of course, there's the wasted hours of re-entering information that's already simply sitting in front of you, and then the double and even triple checking that the figures are correct. Perhaps the most time-consuming part of offering payroll as a service to clients is the back and forth communication trying to get information from the client. So BrightPay Connect gives payroll bureaus the ability to send payroll requests to their clients. So clients can easily enter their employee hours or other payments and additions and deductions for that pay period through their online employer dashboard. The information entered by the client will seamlessly flow through to the bureau's portal, ready to sync back to the payroll software. And don't worry, clients can't make any changes to the payroll directly or mess anything up. Any changes need to be approved by the bureau. This will significantly reduce your payroll workload, and because you're eliminating manual entry on your side of the payroll process, It means less risk of manual entry errors. Next, we have a payroll approval feature, which is also made possible with the integration between the payroll software and the cloud portal. The payroll approval integration feature in BrightPay Connect gives payroll bureaus the ability to send payroll summary to the client for their approval before finalizing the payroll. So clients can review and authorize the payroll run at the click of a button through their online employer dashboard. Ultimately, your client becomes 100% accountable for ensuring the payroll information is correct before the payroll is finalized. Client approval functionality is transforming payroll services for accountants. Gone are the days of emails back and forth with clients to request final authorization of the payroll every pay period. So it's a win-win situation for everyone. And I can pass you back over to Holly now.
Thanks, Elaine. So I'm going to jump into BrightPay Connect's online portal now to show you some of the different features that we've been talking about today. So here we are in our Bureau online dashboard where you can see all of my employers, or clients should I say. But the great thing about BrightPay Connect is that it's not just you that can benefit from the online portal. With BrightPay Connect, you can set up an unlimited number of users so you can add your clients or even other colleagues who are processing the payroll. You can see here there are two types of users you can add, an administrator or a standard user. All clients should be set up as a standard user for their company. So for the client, they can log into their own client portal where they can view their payroll and run payroll reports. But you can also add the client's HR manager, for example, to approve annual leave requests. You'll see here the tabs across the top of the screen, and I'm going to have a quick look into each tab. This is the Requests tab, and this is the functionality that Elaine touched on previously with the payroll approval and requests functionality. You can see here on the screen that we have requests that are waiting for a response and those recently completed. So essentially, you as a bureau can request information from your clients, and the client can log into their online portal to securely submit the payroll data or approve the payroll. Now, I know it might be hard to understand, so I'm going to jump into the client portal now, so you'll understand this a bit more. Here we are in our client online portal, and you can see these notifications on screen. And the bottom two features here are the ones I've just discussed, and here the client can approve the payroll run or submit the payroll entry. It's also important to be aware that both of these options can be used as standalone. You don't necessarily need to use both of these features, and you can also pick and choose which clients you use this functionality for. First, I'll look at the client payroll entry, and this feature enables the client to enter their employees' payment information for this particular pay period. There are two options if I click in here. The client can click into each employee individually to make changes. And if I just click into Christopher here, this is very handy if the payroll is consistent each week. But maybe there's one employee that's a little bit different this week. Maybe they worked overtime hours that need to be added, or if they are entitled to a bonus or commission, for example. So if I just go back to the employee list and into the settings tool, the client can import all of the hours, payments, addition, and deductions for all employees at the same time. And this is probably the easier option where hours change from week to week. The client can simply upload the employee timesheets. So if I just scroll down the page here, the client can also notify you of any new starters. So if I click in, the client has to enter all of the employee's personal, employment, and payment information. This will save you chasing after all of this information. And the best part is you just need to click a button so that the employee is automatically set up on the payroll, ready for you to process the payroll. So I'll just click out of this and we'll go back to the dashboard now. And the other notification here is asking us to approve the payroll. So once you're finished processing the payroll, this allows you to send a payroll summary to the client before the payroll is finalized. The client can review and approve the payroll, or if there's something that's not right, they can reject it and add a comment so that you know what figures to amend. Essentially, it puts the responsibility on the client for signing off the payroll, and there's a full audit trail that keeps a record of all interactions that happen between you and the client. So I'll jump back now to the Bureau dashboard. And the next tab is the Billing tab. And this is where you can view the billing contact and change it to a different user if needed. You can also see the previous monthly breakdowns of how the billing amount was calculated. So next is the Settings tab. And I'll click into the Bureau details first. And here you can update the bureau details and add or change your bureau branding, which is such a nice touch. So for the client, it looks like they're logging into something that is specific to your business, making your clients stickier and building on that client relationship. And lastly, if I go back into the settings, and the other option here is two-factor authentication. You can tick the box to enable two-factor authentication, where you will need to enter a code that is sent to your mobile device to enable an additional security step when logging in. This feature is great for extra peace of mind. So that's the bureau side of things. And I know I only showed you a little bit of what the client can do with the payroll entry and approval. So I'm going to jump back into the employer portal to show you what else the client can do. So here we are in Alan's Auto Repairs online employer dashboard. And the first thing we come to here is notifications. And as you can see, I have an annual leave request from an employee. Employees can request leave anywhere, anytime, directly from their employee app. Once a leave request has been approved, it will automatically synchronize to the payroll software, making it easier for the payroll processor. Again, like with the Bureau portal, you will see these tabs across the top of the screen. And again, I'm going to have a quick look in each tab. So first is the employees. And here the client can click into each employee's profile to access payslips and personal details. And with BrightPay Connect, there's no need to print or email payslips. BrightPay Connect distributes the payslips to employees automatically. This is also where employees can be invited to connect. So next is subcontractors. And here clients can view subcontractor details and P&D statements. This tab will only be available if there are subcontractors set up. Next is reports. And any report that is set up and saved on the payroll software will appear here. So once the payroll has been finalized, your clients can log in here and run their own payroll reports. There's no need for you to email them across to the client each pay period again. Next is the calendar tab. BrightPay Connect also has a company-wide employee calendar with an overview of all employees' past and scheduled leave. So it's an easy way for your client to keep track of who is on leave and when. Next is the HMRC Payments tab. HMRC payments also flow through to BrightPay Connect. And here clients can view amounts that are due to HMRC, once again eliminating the need for you to send this over to the client each pay period. The client can also click into each month to view the full breakdown of the P30. And next is the documents. And here the client can upload documents and resources and distribute them to employees through a secure online portal. The final tab on the employer dashboard is the Settings tab. And this is where they can change employee notification preferences and enable and disable features for employees, including turning on and off the calendar feature. So I'm going to log out now. and jump into the employee self-service portal and show you what the employees will be able to see. So I'll just pop in my login details. So here we are. So as you can see, it's quite similar to the employer dashboard, but the employees just have the different tabs. On their dashboard, employees can view their notifications, such as their payslip for this month, and if any annual leave request has been completed. Also on the dashboard, they can see their details and an overview of their calendar for this month. So I'll just jump into the Documents tab. And as you can see, it's categorized into payroll documents and HR documents and resources. This is to separate their payslip library and their HR documents for easy access. They can click into each payslip in full, so I'll just click into the latest one. And this is where they will have the option to download the payslip if needed. So just going back to the Documents tab, and I'll just click into the HR Documents and Resources tab to show you where all other documents will be saved. And there is even a search tab here for quick access. So next is the Calendar tab. And this is where employees can view all their past and scheduled leave. Employees can request and cancel annual leave, and they can view their leave taken and leave remaining balance. Next is the Details tab, and employees can edit their personal details. For example, if they moved address, they can easily update it themselves instead of contacting HR. So it's a great way to ensure that you're GDPR compliant. And that's it. I'll jump back to my slides now and show you what the smartphone app looks like. The employee will automatically get notifications directly to their phone when a new payslip is available, when a HR document has been shared with them, or when an annual leave request has been approved. And here in the app, you can see it's very similar to the portal, where they have a dashboard on the home screen, along with documents, calendar, and personal details. As you can see, both the Bureau dashboard, the Employer online portal, and Employee app are very user-friendly. And that brings us to the end of the presentation today. We covered a lot on today's webinar, but we will send everyone an email later today. And this will include a copy of the slides and a link to the recording of today's webinar. But it's now time for the questions and answers. And if you have any questions, please feel free to type them into the questions box at the side of your screen, and we will try to get through as many questions as possible. I see Elaine has flagged a couple of questions that came in throughout, so I'll take the first one, and Elaine, we can take turns then just going through them. So the first question I have here is, how many users can I have on Connect? So you can add as many users as you want on BrightPay Connect. It's only the BrightPay payroll software itself that's limited to 10 installations.
Thanks, Holly. I have one here. How does my client enter employee pay information, and what about new starters? Yeah, so I did answer this question when you were doing the demo there, when I saw it coming in. Yeah, so the client can enter this information when the Bureau sends the payroll entry request. So the Bureau can send the request to the clients at the same time. So even though you do need to send the request to your client to get them to enter this information, it doesn't take too long, as you can send them all to all of your clients at once.
Thanks, Elaine. The next question I have here is, how does the pricing work for Connect? Do I buy it when I'm renewing BrightPay at tax year? So no, you don't purchase it alongside the BrightPay payroll software at the start of the tax year. You can create a BrightPay Connect account at any time, and users are billed on a monthly subscription based on the number of active employees in the billing month. So the price can change each month to reflect starters and leavers, just to ensure that you only pay for what you use.
Thanks, Holly. I have a question here. How do you get employees set up in Connect? Yeah, so either the client or you on their behalf, you can send the employees an invitation. So you can either send this to all employees at once, or you can just send it to certain selected employees within a company.
Great. The next question I have here is, I see you have a direct API with QuickBooks Online. Is it the same for QuickBooks Desktop? So no, if you are using QuickBooks Desktop version, you can only upload via CSV file, which can be done in BrightPay. We do have step-by-step instructions for this on our website if you need it.
Thanks, Holly. Yeah, I have a question here. I can see the great benefits of Connect, but how do I get my client on board? Do I pass on expenses to them? Yeah, so it's completely up to you how you want to charge for Connect. So everyone's different. Some accountants pass on the exact amount they're charged for Connect. Others are charging more than what they're paying just because of the added value for the client. And then others aren't even charging for Connect at all, just because they're saving so much time using it that it's worth it for them. So it's really entirely up to yourself. And then as for just getting the client on board to use Connect, we do have a client hub on our website, so you can direct clients to this. From there, they'll have access to help guides, videos that show them the benefits of using Connect. So yeah, we can actually include this in our follow-up email later today.
Yeah, great, we can add that in. Another question I have here is, will the employer know if their employees are using the app? Yeah, so within the employees tab on the clients portal, you will be able to see the status of when each employee was last active, so you'll know if they're using it.
Grant, I have one here from someone saying they have over 100 clients and some are single director companies. Do I need to use Connect for all clients? So no, you can pick and choose what clients you want to use Connect for. So if you like, you could test it out on one or two clients first and then gradually add more as you get more comfortable with it. Because you still will only be charged for whatever clients are using Connect.
Great. Another question here is, I always back up my client's payroll data twice just in fear of losing it. Will Connect be sufficient? Yes, BrightPay Connect will be enough. You won't need to back up your data anywhere else, as once you're using Connect, it's backed up to the cloud as opposed to a hard drive, such as a USB key, so you'll be fine.
Grant. And then I have one here. Can payslips still be printed for those employees who don't want to use the app? I know my client will be asking this. Yeah, of course, you can still print payslips whenever you need to. And then say if an employee, for example, if they didn't have a smartphone, you can also log into Connect through any internet browser.
Great. Elaine, I think we're going to wrap it up there. I think that's all we have time for today. And most questions were answered as some were repetitive. And if you do have any other questions, please feel free to send us an email and we'll be glad to help. We will send out a follow-up email later today, and this will include a link to the recording of the webinar and a copy of the slides. And I'll also include the client hub and a link to a more in-depth BrightPay Connect demo, and I'll send the pricing information across as well. So when the webinar ends, a quick survey will appear on your screen. If you'd like to fill it out to just give us some feedback, that would be great. And lastly, I'd like to thank you all for joining us for today's webinar, and we hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thanks. Thanks. Bye.